I'm here with Michelle Johnson, Pomerleau Real Estate Team. Michelle, you've been in real estate for
11 years.
11 years. So before we get down this deep rabbit hole of all the reasons that you're still here after 11 years in real estate, you were at a different brokerage, Edina Realty, for
9.5 years.
9.5 years. Actually 9 years and probably like 11 months, because right before your 10-year anniversary there.
No, it was 9.5 years.
9.5 years? Okay.
Yeah, because I joined in December, and then my 10-year anniversary was July 1st.
Got it. So tell me what some of the reasons that you decided to make a switch, coming to the JPW or coming to the Pomerleau Team. Like what prompted you to be like, you know what, it's time for a change?
For me, it was the expenses. I'm kind of at the tail end of my career now. I've got maybe 10, 15 years left, and I wanted to get more income into my checking account, into my pocket for retirement. But I also wanted the idea of having a transaction coordinator again. I had that briefly at the beginning of my career. To have that was a huge win again for me. And then also the marketing coordinator that we have here at the Pomerleau Team.
That was kind of a big deal.
I am here every single week for my marketing meeting. It was one of the important things for me. And I wanted that boutique kind of feeling that we have here at JPW, but then the team, I'm a team player.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I made the switch. And I didn't interview with any other brokerage when I first jumped in with Edina Realty.
Well, why waste the time?
I went with them. They were great for me. I learned so much being a part of Edina Realty. Yep. But I've also been so happy to be part of the Pomerleau Team. Mm-hmm.
Well, you're like I think I said it on socials, like you're kind of like the mama around here a little bit, right? Yeah. Like people come to you like, I want to be like Michelle Johnson. And I think that's really cool. You have a great character, and it's just been a blessing having you here for the last 2 years.
I like having that role too.
Right. I think that's super cool. All right. But so when we're going down this rabbit hole, I think I said, it was like, of all the real estate agents, only 6% will make it 10 plus years in this business. Mm-hmm. That's a staggering stat in the aspect of like, that is really disappointing, right? This is a very hard business. Agree?
Absolutely.
Very hard business.
Yes. And
so what are some of the things that you did in your business to make sure that you're still here after 11 years?
For me, what's been important to me in my business is follow through, organization, communication, and then when I did begin my career in real estate, being full-time and making sure that customers and my clients knew that I was full-time. Because there are so many part-time realtors out there, and that's great if you have to do that. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was helpful because they knew they could reach me, and they had my attention. It's hard to have two careers at once, but it's even harder to have a full-time job and a real estate career, because things don't happen after 5 p.m. They just don't. Mm-hmm.
We as agents have to be able to pivot, adjust, and change literally within 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Right? You never know what the day is going to go. And now there's an argument to say you control the day doesn't control you, right? The better you're at, the better you'll have in your career. But I think all the things that you had said are 100% true.
Right.
When it's part-time in this business, right? So the average real estate agent in the state of Minnesota, part-time, sells 0 to 1 homes per year, right? That I would make the argument that's just having your real estate license. Mm-hmm. That's not being a realtor.
That's not being a full-time realtor.
Right. So after 11 years, what are some other things that you've learned that you would say, like, this is how I've run my business successfully. Mm-hmm. I'm still here.
It's flexibility. Mm-hmm. Staying up on technology and being flexible to learn. You have to always be curious and be willing to learn new things. Because I am kind of the mama, I am one of the older people on the team. There's this perception out there that if you're older, you're not willing to try new things, you're not versed on technology. Mm. I like to learn. I'm always curious, and I always like to learn.
Yeah, keeps you sharp, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And this business changes so fast. Like from one technology to the next, or one season to the next, things can be totally different. Mm-hmm. How many different things have been volatile, and how many things have changed in the last 3 years?
There's going to be new technology or new things to learn every single year.
Yep. Literally. I mean, how many we had new technology systems. We tried this, right? Other than Connor, because right, you work with Connor on the team as your
Connor is amazing.
Connor is amazing. We have so many amazing people here.
When I go on listing appointments or buyer consultation appointments, I tell them, you are going to love Connor even more than me at the end of this transaction.
I say the same thing.
And it's so true.
Yeah. So I guess what are some of the ways having him, or even just whether it be him or not, a transaction person was such an important part for you?
When I was at my old brokerage, I loved being there, but running every single part of the transaction on my own, every little detail, and then still being out there in the field with all of my clients and transactions that I had actively going, I wasn't sleeping much. Because I would wake up multiple times a night going, oh, shoot, I need to do this. Shoot, I need to do that. There's so many times when I woke up and I would be sending off emails or making a list, just trying to keep up on my next day. And having Connor worry about those little details and dates frees me up to get out there and run with buyers more and go on more listing appointments. It's amazing to have the photos scheduled.
I can contest to that. Amazing.
Yeah. And I'm still kind of trying to get out of that folder mentality and carrying my briefcase everywhere I go. So I'm trusting more and more. It was very hard for me to give up control in the beginning.
I remember that.
But it had to be earned with me.
Yep.
And now I trust Connor completely, and Emily and the team we have here. Mm-hmm. I can just hand it over and walk away, and I know I'm in good hands.
Yep. Well, and I guarantee you our clients, whether they see it or not, appreciate knowing that we're more available because we don't have to do a lot of this behind-the-scenes stuff. That is still super important to the transaction in order for it to close and that everyone's happy at the end. How much goes on behind the scenes?
I used to go into my old brokerage, and I would sit there for 2 or 3 hours, sometimes I would say twice a week, just processing paperwork and doing the behind-the-scenes things that need to be done on transactions.
You should not be doing that now. You should be out helping more first-time home buyers or talking to more people, because your wealth of knowledge after 11 years in this business, right, and how many people you've helped, your time is 100% better spent being in client-facing and in front of them.
It frees me up for marketing meetings with Andy.
Yep.
It frees me up to have conversations with Connor about what's going on. We update each other usually daily on where the transactions are at.
So if we said, what is your niche right now, what would you say?
Maple Grove, townhomes, and first-time home buyers.
Okay. Basically, you could literally walk to a showing. You know the area super well. You live in the area. How could you get any better than that, right?
Right.
Yeah. But that said, like I know for a fact you've done co-ops, you've helped. Okay, I'm going to brag on you just a little bit here. So we've had people call into the team and say, hey, I want to sell my house. I was like, after I learned a little bit about it, it's like, this is a Michelle, 100%, right? You go above and beyond for your clients, like unbelievably. First-time buyers are very lucky to have you, but honestly, I'd say anybody is, right? So when you're listing a home, I think you're the only person, like you do these special cards, you're out to the home multiple times, you're there for the staging consultation. Mm-hmm. Your service level is 10 times what
I'm very hands-on for sure.
Very hands-on. Service level 10 times what most real estate agents are that I see out there in this industry. So even though you have a niche, I do agree that Maple Grove's great, and first-time home buyers and townhomes, I'd say you could service anybody.
Right. Yeah. One of the last townhomes that you sent me on was in Bloomington.
Yep.
And that was a fantastic transaction. I loved that one.
And that was a home that didn't sell with another agent, a very prominent agent, I may add, didn't sell. And they're, what's going on? They call in and you met with them.
I met with them and they were very sure of what they wanted for a realtor. Mm-hmm. I would say that. And so what they didn't have before was a staging consult. They had really, really good taste in what they did, but the photographs didn't pop the way they could have to showcase the home in the way it needed to on MLS. So we got the staging consult. We got really, really great photos. And when I meet a photographer at the property on specific ones, I kind of have an idea in my head. This is where the photo is going to be. and then we stage for that photo. So that helps. And then the highlight cards. I do the highlight cards on every home. I want a buyer to come into the home, and even though I'm not at the home when they're with their agent, I'm there in the highlight cards.
You are.
And I can
Showcasing
direct
the house.
certain points of view on the home across. And it becomes a treasure hunt, a treasure map through the house where they look for those cards in each room. Because, and then I'll put a card in there. Okay, what comes with the HOA? What's included?
Yep.
Is it snow care, lawn care? How old is the roof? How old is the furnace? I'd put all of that information in the home so they know when they're walking through the home, hey, this is great.
And they left you a fantastic review.
They did.
Right
They were
away.
very kind.
And you were on the market a whole whopping...
I think it was 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days with a home not selling before.
In this market right now.
In this market.
Yeah.
So, well, kudos to you, right?
And it was kudos to them because they had a beautiful home.
Well, example after example after example.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the townhomes in Maple Grove going back there, what are some of the things that you've noticed change over the years with the Maple Grove townhome market?
It's really become kind of a first-time home buyer stop. So a lot of the first-time home buyers in Maple Grove, they might not be able to afford that single-family home, but they may be able to afford that townhome as the entry point.
That makes sense. I would echo that very much so.
And then the other side of that coin is we see a lot of the home buyers in the townhome market that are selling their big family home and then sizing down and having that next step in their family.
You kind of did that, right?
I did that
personally?
right. Yeah. I had a home here in Maple Grove, single family, large home, and I sized down to a townhome.
Yep.
It just makes sense to have that next home and have somebody that understands what they're going through because there's so emotional to let go of that family home and sizing down what to get rid of.
Yep. I call it right sizing.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking for the right term. You're correct. It is right sizing.
It's right.
Because it's right sizing for that time in your life.
Yeah. Because you may want to not mow your lawn anymore.
Correct.
Right.
That was exactly where I was at.
You maybe don't want to shovel so much. Like that's not, but you want to live your life and enjoy all the things Maple Grove has to offer.
Correct. Well, and you may just want to be able to pick up and go see grandkids and leave your home for the weekend or for a week or a month.
And literally not worry about it.
Or go to the warmer states in the wintertime.
Yep.
It's a different lifestyle.
And just out of fun, like I don't know the answer to this, but how many different townhome styles do you think there are in Maple Grove?
Oh my gosh, too many to think of. I mean, just in my neighborhood alone, you've got probably 4.
So there is a townhome for every lifestyle.
Yes.
Families
and different neighborhoods
to the right sizers.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I live off the Central Park area, and just in Central Park, if you drive through that area,
the one with like thousands of miles of walking paths, and you can literally walk to everything.
You can walk to dinner, walk to the library, walk to walk to shop.
So what's like your go-to? Like, okay, you walk out your door, like, hey, let's go walk someplace. Where do you go?
Well, every day I walk my dog, so I'm walking the trails to walk her. I love to walk down to the memorial and just be able to see what's going on in Central Park, the diversity, all the activities that are going on down there. You can also walk to Malone's, walk for dinner. You can walk to Cub Foods and pick up, yeah.
The walkability scale, it's really high.
It's very high in the Central Park area.
You can do whatever.
For sure.
Wasn't there, is that Broadway Pizza at the corner there of an up yet?
Yes, I've been there many times now.
Have you?
It is so much nicer than the old place.
All right, I got to go there. I think I have to go there today.
And they've got axe throwing.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, they're very good.
Two questions. First one is any advice that you would have going, we're looking at the new generation of real estate agents. If you didn't have a client to help right now, what would you do first to go find somebody?
For me, it was the open houses. I was mentored by an agent, and I would do all of her opens. She prides herself on not having done opens for years, and I would do her opens. So as soon as I had a few buyers from those open houses, then I got what's called an accredited buyer's representative. accreditation.
Okay.
And I think you had to have 5 transactions. And then that became my go-to. So when I'm at open houses, I say, hey, do you know that there's specialists in buyers? Yeah. I specialize in helping buyers buy homes. And I would really lean on that in the beginning. And that was my strength probably the first 2 or 3 years. And it takes a while to lean more heavily into those listings and to become more of a balanced realtor in that way.
That makes sense. Funny enough is your mentor recently commented and said she just did an open house for the first time in like years. And she got a buyer and they're closing.
Yeah. My first buyer came from her open house.
Wow.
And that buyer then sent me, I want to say 6 transactions through the years from one open house.
So you met somebody, you did a fantastic job, and how many transactions come from it?
Correct.
That's right. Any other last minute tips, advice you would have for the newer generation of realtors just trying to make it right now?
Lean heavily on marketing. And if there is a mentor program within the brokerage, I would say lean on that too. And if there's not, you can always find a realtor that's willing to help.
Always. There's a lot of people willing
We
to
are
help.
a helpful group. But you can usually go in and say, hey, who's really helpful here? Mm-hmm. And they can help you.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Grab some coattails or whatever and just copy what someone that's done it at a high level.
I don't know if I would still be here 11 years in if it wouldn't have been for my mentor at Edina Realty.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would say that same
And she
thing.
would always say to me when things got difficult, welcome to real estate. And I had that bounce back to me from another agent on the team where they came in. They said, hey, we're doing a transaction with this realtor. And they sent a message along and said, let me guess, welcome to real estate.
Yeah, so true. Well, thank you, Michelle. This was really good. A lot of good
you.
information. Thank you. Now remember, to buy or sell,
Call Michelle.